Hello, Mk2 here on the Sage channel, and today we're taking a look at one of my older ships. This is the Point Strike Defense Turret, because it's actually a ship not designed to move, so sort of a stationary station that's designed to float, target in all directions, or mainly what's in front of it, but actually be able to spin about and target anything flying by. The idea of this station was that it'd be located around borders or near important larger stations that aren't supposed to be able to be moved. Its thrusters are mainly just to keep it actually from drifting about too much if something hits it, not actually to move it about. It would be moved into position and then left there pretty much permanently. Now, this is a old vehicle, as I said, which means these turrets, you can see that there's space behind them. Originally they were turrets behind turrets because I figured they'd be able to shoot over each other, because back then the turrets were not as tall, but of course back then they didn't work at all. Also, you might notice that there's not really any thrusters on the front of this thing at all. That's right, this is such an old ship. It's back before thruster damage when I stuck engines behind engines. So if we fly through here, you can notice right away that also these turrets not connected by conveyors. They weren't really working back then either. But we get all the way back here and you can see thrusters behind thrusters all the way at the back right here. Or at least a thruster facing inwards that would surely destroy everything. So, for the purpose of showing this vehicle off in its working turrets, which is what I'm going to be doing now, is actually showing these turrets shooting at things, I have thruster damage turned off on this save file. This ship is available up on the Steam Workshop if you'd like to download it too, but remember, go ahead and disable thruster damage if you do so, or else you're going to be in a world of hurt, and don't expect to be able to use it in survival mode. Anyway, I'm actually inside this ship. I'm in spectator mode right now, so I'm going to do F6 to switch back to my actual seat in the ship. You can see its stats on the bottom right there, and we're going to go ahead and press K. All the missile turrets here are turned on, max radius, and they're set to target moving objects. And now I'm going to go ahead and actually go back into spectator mode, because this ship doesn't really need to move too much, because considering everything in the front is turrets, it can actually target stuff that's moving quite easily without having to aim directly at it. And we're going to go ahead and grab this Sage Station. This Sage Station here I've actually gone ahead and converted into a ship. So let's go ahead and grab that. There we go, got it there. You might notice the small cut. I realized I couldn't actually grab it while I was in the seat of the other ship, but there we go, I got it. Now I'm going to, whoa, let's not go flying that quickly, shall we? Remember, scroll wheel changes your speed, so when I scrolled this out a bit farther from me, it also sped me up. So here we go, we're going to throw this and you'll be able to see the turrets firing at it very, very quickly. And let's do so like this. There you go, you can see the turrets beginning to fire and unload on it. Pretty good. If we were to hover around, you can see that they have a fair amount of range, and you can see that all the turrets have actually not blown themselves up. So what I've actually seen before is where they end up annihilating themselves, which is very unfortunate. So let's go ahead and scroll this one out there, and let's make sure our speed's not too great. Let's toss another one, but this time we're going to have it coming at us about like this. So speed up a little bit, and doop. So it's going to come a bit closer. You can see the turrets instantly beginning to bombard it, which is a pretty damn awesome sight. And you can see, because of the way the Point Strike Defense Turret is set up, or Point Strike Defense Turret Mark 2 I should say is set up, you can actually continue to fire at it all the way until it's pretty much directly on its side, and even past it a bit. And of course, if this was actually a combat situation, I would be inside the ship turning it. So let's also go ahead and simulate that, shall we? So let's get actually a few of these, and let's see, what's my speed actually like? Oh, we're barely moving. Let's get up to a speed where we're sure the turrets will shoot, and that should do. And let's float out here, and let's go ahead and throw... Let's actually go ahead and fly out here to set it up perfectly, shall we? Alrighty, there you go. You can see off there to my right, there's a fair few Sage Stations drifting in. I have set them on a course with a decent speed, and any second now you'll notice that the turrets on this thing will line up and begin attempting to target it. So let's see. Any second now, I'm suspecting these will spin around. There we go. Oh, no, they all moved at the same time. I thought they were getting a lock. Alrighty, well those things were farther away than I thought, but here we go. Now it looks like they should be getting in range. It's been a little bit. And let's see. Yeah, any second now these all should lock on. Oh, yep, there they go. They locked on. They're beginning to fire. So you can see the Point Strike Defense Turret Mark 2 pretty quickly locks on and begins firing. And now that I'm actually in control of it, I can go ahead and turn it to ensure that these things will stay in front. Strangely enough, I'm not seeing the little target reticle thing showing up on that. I'm wondering... Oh, there we go. Now it's showing up on the moving things. They seem to be a bit off, but they are definitely hitting the stations as they drift by, which is pretty interesting. You see a little bit of debris buzzing by the screen, maybe, if you're watching a maximum resolution. Little tiny white spackles shooting past. You can see it's pretty cool, and you see that some of the turrets are actually starting to target other things on the side because they're considered closer now. Ooh, that was a nice hit. That's a nice volley. That's a nice volley. That's more like it. That's more like it. Very nice. Very, very, very nice. And of course this thing was built before the addition of large ship turrets. So that was back before you could actually even set up anything like this, really. Or that was before you could set up large ship missile launchers, I mean, to fire at stuff. Now, of course, I'd probably just set all these up to be the large ship missile launchers. Instead of dealing with the turrets, it means you have to have more aim, but it also means you can have a greater precision and firepower. Then again, I don't know, I think this still serves its own purpose, doesn't it, being able to aim like that, have them auto-target. Anyway, let's go ahead and do one last thing, and for that last thing, I'm going to go ahead and disable the inertial dampers on this ship. And we're going to go ahead and actually, what I'm going to do is turn those back on real quick, hop out of the seat, go into spectator mode, and set up a little something interesting. Alrighty, so what I've done here is I got one ship drifting that way with its inertial dampers off, and I got another one here ready to be pasted drifting the same way with its inertial dampers off. Of course, both these will be moving and set to target moving objects, so they'll instantly begin shooting at each other, and we should have an interesting fight. So here we go! Oh, and instantaneously, you can barely see it, but there's tons and tons of volleys of missiles just going back and forth at each other. That is actually pretty awesome to see. Unfortunately, the game is not really having any sound, but I guess that's really how it would be in space. But let's be honest, usually this game does have sound in space, which I have been lacking a while. Some nice volleys back and forth. Let's get a little bit closer in here. Of course, both these ships are moving, and of course in spectator mode, I can't just disable my inertial dampers. That's not how it works. And you see a lot of these missiles are actually missing. I'm suspecting that they're actually aiming at little bits of debris out there. Almost looks like they're aiming at me. Let's see, how are the turrets doing on this ship? It's lost a few. The far right side seems to be good, but it's lost two up there, one on the left and one down below. Let's see what is the other ship doing, and they seem to be drifting apart from each other a little bit. This has a nice amount of hits on it, actually. You can see here it's blasted a hole all the way through that part there. Let's buzz around back up and look here. I think that's, yes, all turrets disabled on the right side there. It's missing two on the top, and none on the bottom, and none on, well, what is actually its right side. Its left side has been devastated, is what I should have said earlier. It's only missing one turret on the right. Let's see. Is the combat continuing? Yes, indeed it is. But it seems like they're not hitting each other as much as I would have expected. I don't think they're leading their targets quite as well as they should be. Let's go ahead and actually delete this ship here. And let's get a bit closer to this one and try to paste it back in and match its speed again. So let's see, how quickly am I moving? That's a bit too quick, that's a bit too slow. That looks about right, doesn't it? That's about right, a little bit too far up though, eh? So I think that'll do. Let's go ahead and nice and close, so it'll be a heck of a combat scenario, eh? And right about there. And instantaneously, I do see an explosion or two there as they are beginning to bombard each other. You can see a few missiles shooting directly off the side. Oh, they might actually have a collision. No, I think they'll be fine. This is very unfair for one of the ships because the way I set them down, they're actually drifting under one another. Interesting. But now they seem to have gotten to a point where they can't actually hit each other at all. Let's go ahead and move this guy again. So let's go ahead and post him down here one more time, hopefully without the same issue I had this last time. And right about, it's too fast, let's slow up. It's too slow, speed up a little bit. That looks about perfect, doesn't it? There we go. And he's actually moving way quicker than he should. Let's just go ahead and toss another one in, shall we? Real quick. There we go. It's moving up a little bit, a little hard to control the speeds exactly. But you can see some nice volleys still going on here. That ship, it seems like whichever ship is actually in the lead takes a fair amount of damage. Oh, but maybe not. This ship, now that I look at it, it's lost a few things, and I think there might have been some self-destruction. Oh no, that's from the ship down there now firing. How about we just make this insanity, shall we? We'll post a few more of these in here. Let's zoom them out a bit. Ooh. I need to actually slow my speed down, though, of course, or else I'll be way too fast for them. And let's post a few more of these, shall we? Just to see what kind of mayhem we can get. It's a shame there's no AI system in here to direct the ships to actually turn and aim at each other, but who knows, I have a suspicion that the AI isn't too far off, and we'll be seeing it sooner rather than later. Dang. Alrighty, well, that's about it. These point strike defense turrets, Mk2, interesting. Ooh, wow, they just blew off all their own turrets right there. That was brilliant. Trying to shoot at stuff over there, so they're still trying to shoot through themselves a bit. Slightly unfortunate, but overall fairly interesting. Ooh, nice volleys there. Nice, nice, nice. Very nice. I guess they're trying to aim out at debris or something. I don't know. Anyway, that's it, guys. I thought it might be interesting to actually show the old point struck defense turret Mark II in action. Yeah, I think it was interesting. Not the best in the world, but definitely worth the sight, I'd say. Anyway, thanks so much, guys, for watching. I'll see you next time.